So, Gab,
Yes, SJ.
how was Pride? How was Pride for you?
You know what? It was fun. I danced probably horribly for a while, but I was mostly helping my friend because they're a drag king. So, and they were performing, right? So I was mostly helping them out. Yes, if you want to follow them, they are at Ina Demons, and they give a fantastic performance both at Pride and at their first club show. I guess I'd call it a club. It was very much a club show. Yeah, club gig, which is very wild to be like in a club scene with other queer people, and they were all like, "Oh my God, you're 21, you're babies," and I'm like, "Oh dear." I'm like, "What do you mean babies? I'm two gabies." That's already me. That's because of my prof going, "How do you pronounce your name? Is it Gabby or Gaby?" And from then on, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go by Gab.
It is an actual thing, though. Just gay babies.
Just gay babies. Is that what you?
Yeah.
Is that what you call new? Oh.
Yeah. It's an actual.
No. Here's the thing. You were talking about like newcomers to the queer scene, right? Like gabies. I was like, who else with the name Gabby has been called Gaby? I was like. Is that an actual pronunciation? I was like, is this an actual pronunciation of the name? I had never heard it before my teacher had said it.
But you are a gay baby.
I am a gay baby.
Anyway, as everyone should be aware of by now, after gay pride comes gay wrath. Therefore, we are obligated to talk about Killing Eve and what the fuck happened to it. So.
That's just the epitome of gay wrath. I mean, other than She-Ra, but like...
I mean... Yeah. I was gonna defend it for like a second.
No, if you look at like Catra and Adora, is that not just gay wrath?
Okay. Sheesh.
Oh my god.
So, I'll ask you first then. How did you get into Killing Eve?
Well, I got into Killing Eve because I was a big fan of Fleabag. And naturally, as you know me, I went, let me look up everything Phoebe Waller-Bridge has ever done and go ahead and try to watch it. So I watched Crashing, and then I heard about Killing Eve, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And then I saw GIFs, saw the GIFs of Sandra Oh getting pressed against the refrigerator with the knife. And I was like, oh,
I
okay.
see.
I was like, is this queer bait, or are they actually going for it? And I was like, oh, you know what? It's Sandra Oh. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It looks gay. I saw that it had like assassins, and I like watching assassin things as
we
love
a
John
cat and
Wick.
mouse chase. There's just something about
it. I was like, it looks interesting. And then I put on the first episode, and it was like in the first 5 minutes, Villanelle cusses out a little girl.
Yeah.
And I was like,
the iconic ice cream scene.
The ice cream scene, yes. And I was like, what is this show? And I really liked the first season. The second season, I was like, you know what? I have just enough fondness to be like, let's finish this. Third season came around, and I was like, what is happening? And then the last season came, and I was like, why is she Catholic?
She's
what
Christian.
Happening?
The correction is she's Christian, okay? You know the
she's
English
Christian.
hate Catholics.
Sorry, yes. Oh my god.
That was for the Irish.
We have to do a Dairy Girls. We have to do a Dairy Girls episode.
I like media that fucks me up. You know how I am. Well, bringing it back to to the UK's really bad counterpart, yeah. Killing Eve. I think I have a very, very like repressed memory of how I found it. I think it came back very recently. Because I found the person on Tumblr. I remember who reblogged it, because this person I know from my Ruby days, and this is a surprise to most. I used to be into Rooster Teeth's Ruby
Is it
until
really
they
a
fucked it up.
surprise? This isn't surprising to me.
I don't know enough about your knowledge of Ruby to know what you think is not surprising about it.
I had a little cousin who used to show me like some episodes, and it's like fucked up fairy tales. Is that what I remember?
No,
right? Where like sword
I
fighting.
didn't get to that part. I didn't really get to that part.
Oh,
actually.
I see.
Think I dropped it by the 3rd season, and then it just went to hell. But that's a topic for another day.
Oh no.
But yeah, this person I knew from my Ruby days.
It went to hell just like the gay little angel.
How many times will you bring up Castiel in these episodes? I feel like this is like the 3rd time you've brought up Castiel.
Is it? I think that just might be subconscious at this point. I'm sorry.
Get help.
You know what? I was in the Supernatural fandom for I think 5 years, Jesus. And I've just been recently just putting on episodes in the background, so it's probably gonna come up more, but I'm not proud of it.
No, you know what? Okay, if we're outing ourselves, you used to be into Supernatural. I used to be into Homestuck, so it's not even that. It's not even that.
There we
cursed,
go.
Okay.
Someone made like an 8-hour compilation of
my
every
God.
like Dean and Cass thing. So like they smushed like I think 10 plus seasons and compiled it, and it was an 8-hour long video.
Watch Killing Eve fans try and do that.
Exactly. I would like to see it. Give me the Villeneuve cut. But
I want them to
there's, like,
do
that
your little homework thing, where you redid a trailer.
Yes.
Like they changed the
yes.
genre. I feel like they should do that for Killing Eve.
They should do it. Yes, they absolutely should. No, you know what? They should edit it like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith trailer. Oh my god, can you imagine if we got like Villanelle and Eve, but Mr. Oh my god, that would. Oh, that's a remake I would die for. But yeah, like so there's
Phoebe
this
Waller-Bridge call us.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, like you passed me on the street when I was in London. Here's the switch. I'm not kidding. She got out of the car, and I was standing on the street.
That you had the audacity to say you passed me on the street in London.
Please. It's fine. She'll probably never hear this. But yes, going back to Killing Eve, I want the Villeneuve cut. I don't want to sit through the fucking 12 bullshit. I just want my cat and mouse sapphic show.
I'm trying to think of anything else that might have the same like takes on the box, but I don't remember if I
First kill is
maybe
like
Old
close,
Guard,
but not old. Oh yeah, Old Guard. I love Old Guard. Did you see those photos of Charlize Theron? You keep bringing up things that scratch like the catnip in my brain.
I'm just trying to think if there's any other like sapphic-ish show where it's like cat and mousey.
Well, we already mentioned She-Ra. That's another one.
Mm-hmm. Back to the topic.
Yeah, no.
Back to the topic. So, I found a few gift sets like reblogged by Roman Imp. Yeah, Roman Imp like a few years ago. This is like ancient history, and I trust their taste because even if they're really really into Team Fortress 2, they have some really good taste in the sapphic stuff. So I was just like, intriguing. So I watched the first season, and as everyone knows, the first season was amazing.
The first season is the best season.
It's the only season that exists, actually.
That's true.
That's true. It ends there.
Sorry, I didn't know. Like, what? Killing Eve was a limited series. What? I don't know what I was talking about earlier in season 2, season 3. I must have like imagined or hallucinated it.
But yeah, I think the reason why I got interested in Killing Eve, apart from it like being one of the few sapphic shows that I saw like within kind of like the mainstream Tumblr sphere going on.
Yeah,
at the
I was
moment,
about to say, like Sapphic show on Tumblr. What?
Yeah. It's
Unheard
unheard of. But like it's so unheard of because it's like Tumblr sphere is just so it's a sausage party in there. It's just
No!
so sausage party-ish. It's amazing sometimes how much focus they give to your regular degular blonde haired guy and like dark haired dude, you know? It's always those two.
Don't come for like every single 2012 ship on the planet. That is literally like they
even Heartstopper stepped in there.
Please.
I'm sorry.
No, wait. Is Kit Connor blonde or is he ginger? I've seen like arguments being had
not
over...
Kit Connor. The actual,
he looks
the
ginger.
actual art from the comics. He's blonde.
Oh,
in the comics,
okay,
right?
Nick Nelson. Okay, actual Nick Nelson.
Yeah, he's blonde.
I don't think they ever say he just has pale hair. No, he just has pale hair. Do they
He's
actually
blonde.
say
Stop
he's
denying
blonde?
it. Stop denying it.
No, I don't remember. I'm not denying. I'm just asking a question. I'm asking you to
he's
confirm
blonde.
a fact.
I saw the.
Okay.
I saw the the covers and stuff. It's always like the.
Okay.
It's just really funny, but yeah, apart from it being like one of the only, like sapphic ships in the common Tumblr sphere at the time with Shira actually, I think it was because at the time I was looking for stuff with Asian women in it specifically.
Yeah.
There's just such a a lack of it in media. Specifically the ones that don't really tackle culture itself. And that was before I think the half of it came out. Way before the half of it came out. At the time I think Killing Eve was up on my watch list with The Handmaiden. So
oh gosh. What a combination.
Something about it. I mean, excluding the graphic sex, that definitely wasn't even. It wasn't even like softcore porn at that point. It was just kind of like that.
Yeah.
But that plot of that one was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
No, when you think about like the implications of it, it's just The Handmaiden is just very well written. But some of the things in that movie I cannot unsee.
I think it's the fact that was based on an actual sapphic book that really sold it for me.
That makes it. Yeah.
I actually had that on my read list, and then I realized it was not actually. It was like about white people in the novel, so I was just like, nah.
Oh,
nah.
what? No.
Yeah, the fact that they
That's
adapted
less
it into. Yeah, the fact that they adapted it into Korean, like, mid-Japanese war.
For me, the context is what makes it so much more compelling. I cannot imagine The Handmaiden if it was white people. Sorry, white people, but not really.
No need to apologize.
I mean, you did colonize us for thousands of years, hundreds of years.
Is the Phoebe Waller-Bridge hole really the only part that got you interested in it, or?
No, and it was also the Sandra Oh hole, because I just really love her and everything. Like, literally, whenever my mom and I see her in something, I think she watched something recently, I think it's The Chairman, The Professor, or something, with Sandra Oh, and I was like, the reason my mom watched it is because I was like, it has Sandra Oh, it has Sandra Oh.
Oh, I recently pirated, Umma, which I haven't watched yet. But it's...
Oh my god.
I have expectations. She gets to speak in Korean. I feel like I should be... I should be fed that she's in a horror movie, and she's like the main girl, so, you know.
Yeah.
Woman after my own heart, Sandra Oh.
Sandra Oh does not have an Oscar, and it is a crime. It is a crime. She's been in so many different, like, things. She and Michelle Yeoh in this house, like...
Gay silence.
Gay silence. Oh my god, now I'm thinking about Michelle Yeoh in Gunpowder Milkshake.
Good lord. Rein yourself in, girl. I'm just okay. I'm trying to. I may have to look this up now, because now I have to point out the people I have to blame. So, we gotta be specific. We're going on Wikipedia now, folks.
I like how you going into Killing Eve are like, I have to find the people to blame. And in our last episode, I was just out here going, here are all the people I have to thank for the creation of Bill and Ted.
Gay wrath, okay? Gay pride, you were very proud of the creators of that movie, of those movies specifically, but I am not proud of most of these people, specifically for what they did.
Look at how they massacred.
Well, technically, most people actually kind of blame the executive producer. Specific executive producer.
Oh, yes, I
don't remember what her name is. I don't remember what her name is. It's that insignificant to me. Head writer is different for every series. The first series, as we all know, was
which is kind of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that it's different
sorta
every series. That's never good. No, but like it's never good when like they change it.
Yeah, that's the exact problem they had in Voltron, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And actually every single Marvel movie. We've
exposed the fact that I was into Supernatural and Voltron on this
I never
episode.
exposed anything. I just pointed out that Voltron had the same problem. You did not have to confirm that yourself.
But if I agree with you, then how would I know that? That just implies that I've seen.
This is just. I thought this was just common Tumblr knowledge at this point. I've seen like the call out post.
I've seen people who have zero knowledge of what the fuck was happening with Voltron. So even my friend who watched Voltron had no idea about what was happening like behind the scenes of Voltron. It truly is another level of like Tumblr to know about like the cookies and shit.
Yeah, we're deeper in the 9 circles of hell in this one, but
it fits into the
I
theme
think
of the gay
I was
thing
into
we've got going on.
Yeah, I was into Voltron. I think for the first 3 seasons. There's just something about the first 3 seasons that just cuts me off afterwards. No, like literally anything I watch. After the first 3 seasons, it's just like I skedaddle.
That's
No, I think it has to be like a specific set of standards. Like if they fuck up somehow within like the first 3 seasons, then I'm gone. Just leaving. Yeah,
you're gone.
Unlike, however, when I try to start a book, I think it's sort of the same thing where I like read the first chapter, and if it doesn't vibe with me, I just put it back down. I'd never try to read it ever again if it never vibed with me after the first chapter.
Like many things, we are Uno reverse in this, and that if I don't like the first episode or like I'll give it like maybe 6 episodes. If I still am not into it, I just don't watch it. And the book, I'm like, even if I don't like the first chapter, I'm like, maybe it gets good. And then I get halfway through and I'm like, why am I wasting my time? But I'm very bad at leaving stories unfinished. So I just keep going. And at the end of it, I'm like, what did I gain from this? Absolutely nothing.
I think it's like through experience, because in like 2016, I went through like a reading spree. I think I got to 148 novels in that year alone.
Oh my god.
I was very depressed. Anyway, I read like 148 novels, and like a few of them were really bad. I think I just picked up which signals I thought, like which flags were really, really red. And the moment I find those in like the first chapter, I just put it back down. Because I read a lot of, it was 2012. I was into Tumblr. So if I picked up a book, there's 100% chance it was because it was queer. Time and time again, I've read maybe like around 5% of the MLM books which were written by women. If it was MLM, within the first chapter, they will mention a female character and be incredibly misogynistic. So I was just like, okay, I see what's going on here. It's the whole, I'm gay, I hate women, therefore I am a misogynist. It just sucked.
Remembering like 2012 like culture in terms of like gay.
Yeah,
jeez.
Yeah. it was just really bad. So I just like I knew which ones to like sort through, and it developed later on when I just read or watch things. If I feel like something's not vibing with me like from the get go, I just go, oh no, 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 we're not gonna waste our time here. That's a few hours of my life that I will never get back anymore. I am not gonna waste my time. My life is short, and I will not be shortening it further. Thank you. On that note, I don't know what made me continue with Killing Eve.
It's Sandro.
Because, yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Something about the work that Emerald Fennel, Suzanne Heathcote, I don't know, British people, man, and Laura Neal. Those three people just kind of like flubbed the entire premise that Phoebe Waller-Bridge gave them. So here's the thing, right? No one really left the writer's room. This is this is something we've talked about. We thought it was because Phoebe Waller-Bridge left. No, they deliberately had different women leading the writer's room per series. Kind of like continuing the story. Because you can't, because like they tied off most of what they did for the first series, right?
First season.
If you remember the first series.
First series. Yeah.
They did everything they could to tie off anything, and then they led up to the next series, which was the whole like after Villanelle gets stabbed and he just leaves. You just have to connect what the other person like left you. It's just like a pass the message thing. So you just gotta keep the story going. So I don't know what happened with the succeeding writers, that they thought that the people that were lured in by the series weren't lured in by the two main characters finally getting to interact with each other intimately. Like they didn't get that somehow.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was doing research about this, and all of the early reviews of season 1 were all being like, "Oh, the thriller," like the critic reviews, the thriller, blah blah blah. The thriller aspect of the show is really good. But the world is intriguing, and I can't help but wonder if they usually just saw that instead of like the larger response from people, which was fans. Whenever I heard about Killing Eve, like fans. I never heard about the plot. I heard more about like how they were interested in where Villanelle was going. I almost called her Villaneve. No, and where Eve was going with her character arcs. Like it was never like the plot that was the main part that I saw. Like I didn't like see gifs of intricate meetings on Tumblr. I saw gifs of Villanelle and Eve. Just
I saw entire like I saw the same clip over and over again of Eve just like waxing poetic about trying to describe Villanelle to like a sketch.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's really funny because it's like the completely serious just like pan around Sandra Oh while she's talking about Villanelle, describing her features, and then cuts to the sketch artist like, so did she have blonde hair?
The sketch artist was like, yeah, thanks for the description about the lips. The hair, though. And that is exactly the vibe that I wanted, like, for the whole of the show.
I think the one thing I did, like, respect for, like, the succeeding seasons that came after that one was the fact that they kept it consistent that Eve just had this, like, seething rage all the time. Because, like, in the first season, what I really found compelling about her, apart from her, like, little conflict with, like, not being able to keep up the work-life balance, you know? just like how most millennials have to deal with that.
As you do.
I think what I found really compelling was the, like, after Bill's funeral. After the funeral, she was just like, I'm gonna kill her. Just, like, plainly, I was just like, holy shit. Sandra Oh has never been hotter.
There's something about, like... I definitely understand. There's something about, like, the grief goggles when you're angry. That just makes the anger, like, burn even hotter.
And like the thing with they really fucked that up is that in the following seasons they just kept bringing up the fact that she wanted to get back at the 12, specifically at Villanelle for like killing her best friend, and like suddenly Villanelle just keeps doing these really really fucked up things to her personal life, where that thing that happened with her husband in the third season, like Kenny being a collateral in their whole thing. Also in the third season, good lord, a lot of shit happened.
Good lord, so much happens in the third season.
But yeah, the way that they kept doing those things in the show, and then just never bringing it up when it comes to Eve's like personal struggle, like her personal motivation for taking care of the 12 was just that she was fucking tired of them, and like not even the fact that like her loved ones kept dying. It just didn't make sense to me. It's like
it would have been like a more interesting motivation to have like that journey into like wanting to get rid of the 12, be that personal connection of you are existing, and that existing is causing people who I care about to die, so you have to go.
Yeah. And like what I think a lot of the fans wanted is that like really striking that balance of wanting to give Eve these like personal motivations, like she wants to stop this once and for all because she knows that Villanelle's kind of like obsessed with her. Why are you so obsessed
with me?
Yeah, she knows Villanelle's kind of obsessed with her, and it's a mutual thing because like even before all of this fucked up shit happened, she was just kind of fascinated with the fact that no one has ever caught Villanelle before. She's never been arrested.
And that's what that's one of the things that really drew me in, because I really like that like much like the podcast that shall not be named. I just like the idea of like this person who's trying so hard to like quote unquote play by the rules, but there's just like this one specific person that is just so fascinating that they're willing to bend the rules for them because they're so fascinating.
And it's like there's a kind of like Batman Joker understanding between them.
Yeah.
That they know that they're the only people who understand each other, but also
we are the only people who understand each other. We can't ever truly be together.
Connect.
Because what would that even look like? But also there's people who get in our way who can be collateral in our brains. And there are people in our way who we can hurt because of this connection. Like, going back to, like, old tropes, it's the Sherlock and Moriarty of it all. Like, the literary Sherlock and Moriarty of it all.
And
where
the thing with that is just, within the first season, you do see it in Eve, that she just kind of doesn't care when people die.
Yeah.
But then she starts caring when it's people she knows. Because that's her job, you know? It's her job that people die. Yeah, when it gets personal, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
I think it's rooted in the fact that this was based on a novel by some white dude. So I feel like it's, like, part of Eve's, like, originally white woman thing of, like, oh, I don't care about those people. I care about these people. These are my people. She just doesn't have enough empathy to, you know, like, extend her compassion out to, like, random people on the street or whatever. I also think it's because she's in Britain. That might be generalizing, but, you know.
Oh my god.
There's a certain capacity to her actual compassion that when Villanelle murders other people, she's fine with it. She's just like, you know, if he dies, then that's on him. That's something she told Caroline, I think, the first time they met. Like, they spoke to each other in that restaurant, and she was just like, you know, that's on him for dying. Because, like, you know, if he dies, then that's his thing. She caught him slipping.
She caught him slipping. Do not persecute.
So it's like, she doesn't care when people die.
That's the plot
of
Killing Eve season 1.
Yeah.
She caught him slipping.
So
do not persecute.
That's the ending of it too. Like, I caught her slipping, so that's her fault. And I think that was what really drew people in, was that, you know, weird push and pull between them. There was a balance that was going on, and then they kind of extended out from that, which was just definitely not what people were into. And then it turned into the shit show that was the fourth season. I don't know what happened there too. But I, as someone who watched the fourth season, I don't know what happened either. And this, okay,
honestly, here's the thing. I'm friends with a lot of people who were like diehard Killing Eve fans, and I was watching them react to the fourth season. I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I was like, "What happened here?" And then I was like seeing like these things on Tumblr and like Twitter, and it was never about the plot. It was literally just me say like I was saying, people weren't invested in the plot. People were invested in Eve and Villanelle.
And this show ran for 4 years. Yeah. It's good. Wow, that's actually fast. Speaking in BBC terms, I'm not gonna lie. They had a season per year, and it lasted like 8 episodes per season. Yeah. So that's very fast considering
8 episodes for a British show is actually quite a lot already.
Yeah, maybe it's because it's BBC America.
That is a thing.
So we've stumbled over what we already found compelling about these lesbians, but what the hell happened in the 4th season? This is where I have notes. Okay.
Here you go.
I have
it's
2
your
pages.
Moment to shine. Oh my god, you have 2 pages.
My handwriting is atrocious, so there are rooms for error. There's a margin of error. Yeah, in general, people were criticizing the executive producer, the lead writer of the 4th season, specifically for the ending, just the ending, because like the lead up to that was actually all right, you know, like inhibitions were let go, people were murdered. She officiated a gay wedding, and then the 12 died, and then Villanelle died. That's what happened in quick succession.
Yeah,
that was the last episode.
And it wasn't even like it was like a dramatic death, wasn't it? I remember seeing like
the slow-mo getting shot by the shoulder.
I was like,
you know that skit by Andy Samberg? Like slowly getting shot.
What you say?
They said that I say they, but it's literally just Laura Neal. It was in one of the interviews. She said that like getting rid of Villanelle was like the natural progression for, if not the characters, then the show itself. Apparently,
but why?
Some people say, I don't know. There was some logic to it.
Which was
arguing that killing Eve, quote unquote, stood for the metaphorical death or loss or whatever of Eve specifically, because like a large part of Eve apparently was Villanelle. Even though for an uncertain amount of time she was in a desk job with the MI6, and she was the only person aware that there was this unknown killer killing a bunch of people with her own flair that only Eve was able to determine was actually just a single person, and very specifically a single woman. So I don't know if Eve was just that big of a part of Villanelle's life, or maybe they mean like within the rest of the series. Maybe it's because like they spend so much time together, which is also false. They never spent time together ever. Like if you watch the entire series, they never get to interact with each other for more than
like a few minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rare that they ever get time together, because in one way or another they're just like set out on either escaping the other or killing the other. It's no in between. Usually it's Eve trying to kill Villanelle.
No, you know what? That's what killing Eve means. It means Eve is ready for killing.
Killing Eve is actually her stage
killing.
Name.
No. It's a mode. You have normal Eve, and then you have killing Eve.
Killing Eve. I see. A lot of people I'm trying to make jokes because
the season 4 thing is just.
A lot of people really did know that was a bullshit thing to say on an interview, though. Especially the guy who killed the lesbians in the 100.
Oh my god! Not
yeah, he was actually okay. it was actually interesting to see what actually went down with the 100 fandom afterwards, because apparently that guy went to cons and actually publicly apologized and like continued to advocate for stuff. So that guy like learned his lesson and actually
that's good at
started
least.
Yeah. He started kind of just like learning from the fans, and which is something kind of unheard of in TV.
Unheard of, especially on the CW.
Yeah.
What? The CW.
It all comes back to Supernatural.
The CW.
It all comes back.
Listening to
all
fans?
roads lead to Supernatural.
Well, it's the road
Good
so
Lord.
far, you know.
But yeah, he learned his lesson so badly that when they fucked up Killing Eve last season, he was the one who kind of like quote tweeted one of the creators.
Can you imagine? Like, Clexa is notorious in like the Sapphic community for being one of the worst like bury your gays moment on TV.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like the author
Can you imagine
of that?
one-upping that?
The author of that. No, I can imagine one-upping that. There's once again, I can't speak. All roads lead to Supernatural, but I guess in Sapphic. But like, can you imagine like the creator of that quote tweeting you and saying, "Hey, you fucked up your lesbian show." Like, Clexa it's notorious. People still talk about it.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't been on Tumblr in a while, and when I'm on Tumblr, I'm usually on my like For You page because I'm tired. But maybe that many
people
people
real old person sigh.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. I don't want to have to fucking deal with that. But like, I don't actually see a lot of people talking about Killing Eve. About as much as I do see people talking about Clexa still.
Here's the thing. I see people talk about Killing Eve, but it's usually first season. I don't see much of the later seasons. I see people still rotate the freaking fridge knife gift set. Like,
no, I feel like that's just the thirst.
Okay, fair. Not that I'm complaining, because I'm definitely not. But that's the one gift set I've definitely seen a lot of. Besides the bridge moment.
Oh my god, the series ended there.
Yeah, the end. Cut.
The end. Nothing
curtain.
happened.
Nothing happened.
Good
They on the bridge. The end.
Maybe it's because I am not following a lot of people who actually liked Killing Eve that much. I do know one person, but she was like very, very distant from the series up after the third season, I'm pretty sure. So I don't see a lot of discourse about what actually happened, like what went down in that last season. The few I've seen, I had to scour the tags.
Oh, really?
So it's not in the main Tumblr sphere anymore.
I think a lot of it has moved on to Twitter, because I remember when the finale aired, I saw multiple people on my timeline going, "Okay, Killing Eve finale, let's hope they don't fuck this up." And I had come after the finale had aired, but I saw like the thread thing, and then my friend quote tweeted and said, "Oh fuck, they fucked it up so bad. Oh fuck."
I was so casual about that. I was playing games in my phone during the entire season, and I could still like kind of like vaguely catch up. I have no idea what the fuck was going on with the 12 because I didn't really care. And I think they never understood that. Was no one fucking cared about the 12. Caroline is like, she's towing the line. Some people still kind of care about her, but like not enough to like care about the flashbacks that were an actual thing in the season. Yeah. There were flashbacks to her weird youth, where she used to be a socialist, apparently.
Yes, and other sentences that make sense.
Yeah. I actually kind of liked her when we never knew about her past. Like, it's just really funny that this like seemingly fuddy-duddy white person was just like commenting on the most innocuous things, and then suddenly just points out that, oh, this person we're meeting, I slept with him once, but like don't bring it up, it's kind of awkward. And then the whole time they're in that meeting, she's kind of still flirting with the guy. It's really funny to me. I really that her character was like that.
That's what makes it really fun. I really like the comedy of, oh yeah, we slept together, it's not important. And everyone else is like, you what? You know, we kind of had a thing. It's not important. And then they get
the casual. I really like the casual reveal of her being Ken's mom.
Oh yeah.
And then there was that guy she was sleeping with who just pops up in the middle of their house, like, hello.
Hello.
I feel like Caroline deserves to be a bit of a slut.
Yes.
I think her character being a slut is like a core part of her character, but like the way
but like,
that they focused in on
not like a slut in the sense that she looks at someone and you go, huh, maybe
perhaps they have actually. Man, I don't know what it is. Like, I have a very weird thing where if two middle-aged characters interact in a certain way in anything I'm watching, I immediately go, oh, they're fucking. Immediately. And then, like, minutes later, they immediately confirm it. Oh, they are fucking. I'm just like, I knew it from the get-go.
You have a big brain.
It's, I think it was the same with, what was it? What was it called? Lin-Manuel Miranda was in it. I don't fucking remember. It was an HBO show. The Philip Pullman novels.
Oh, his Dark Materials.
His Dark Materials. That. Well, I immediately clocked the adults, the weird adults who definitely were fucking. Same with The Wheel of Time. I also clocked the weird adults who were fucking immediately.
Maybe you just have like a weird adults who were fucking sense.
At some point. It's like a weird version of the gaydar. I'm just like immediately.
Yes. You look at these two weird adults who behave oddly around each other.
Perhaps they are fucking. I do think it's because I immediately notice who does and doesn't have some kind of history with each other. I think there's just a vibe that's like, you know, the and this is treading very I'll bleep this in the final. But you know the vibe?
Yeah.
That, but like with more history behind it.
Yes. You pick it up.
Yeah, so it's
pick
like
up on it really easily.
Now I don't my sister just goes, please don't do that. And I'm just like, I'm right though. Look,
I wonder if it works in real life.
A few minutes later. I don't know. Normally I don't care about other people enough to actually do that in real life, you know? The only reason it sets off while I'm watching something is because I'm invested. So
yeah,
that speaks a lot.
That's fair.
But anyway, going back towards the one thing I did understand very specifically was like the present stuff with Caroline and the stuff that was going on with Constantine. I have no idea why he was apparently like a public official when the fourth season started. Nothing makes sense in the
Just
show
go with
anymore.
it. Just go with it.
Like the season opened with Eve like shooting him in the hand, and suddenly it's just like, okay, I see what's going on over here. But like, it just the way they opened this season feels like something that someone new to the creative writing class would do. Is just like inciting incident.
Yeah.
And like nothing makes sense.
Yes, I was about to say. No, they have the inciting incident, and then they build everything around the inciting incident. Is what it feels like.
It's I understood why they were trying to do that with Caroline and Constantine. Caroline, I understood specifically because she actually wanted to do something after Kenny's death, but I feel like she wasn't really, I don't know. It just didn't feel like something that was in her character as established with like previous season where they actually involved her children. Yeah, the way that they played out her story sort of didn't make sense for her character. specifically because by the end of it, it was like them trying to make her realize that she didn't really blame the 12 for Kenny dying. She blamed herself, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, have you met Caroline? Have you met Caroline? I don't feel like that's a thing.
She's
that's
not
gonna happen
like
to her.
she's not like self-conscious in that way that she blamed herself. That's
yeah.
a
She's
weird
not the pity party.
characterization. Exactly.
Yeah, she's not the pity party type.
That's a weird
She's
characterization.
It feels disingenuous to say
Yeah.
that she would be the type to be throwing her own pity parties for like being at slightly in fault of like her own son's death, even though I think it was because they were trying to build in that mother angle on her,
I see.
which
Okay.
she has a MILF vibe, but she does not have a mother vibe. It just doesn't make sense. Moving forward, there's also the thing about Constantine, which I actually sort of liked, kind of, because like in the previous, I think in the second season, he had his whole like focus going on because Villanelle got arrested, blah blah blah, and it like got out there that he actually views Villanelle as some kind of like there's a paternal bond going on between her and him, that, you know, she kind of feels like he's her sort of dad at this point because they've been together for so long as handler and like assassin, and then Villanelle kidnapped his kid. So
Yeah, you know, just normal father-daughter things.
the thing with him in the final season, and this is not really going into much spoiler territory, is that he, like, one of the 12 actually kind of quote unquote commissioned him, blackmailed him into into handling another assassin. Apparently they were going in through that angle of like a lot of the assassins they hire are quote unquote unforgettable or don't really have any connections. The very abuser thing of like, you know, you don't have any family left, you don't have any
Yeah.
you know, they isolate this person. When he finally gets to handle her, he gives her so many outs to just like leave. Just don't do this. If you're not like, there's a part of you that is unwilling to do this, do not fucking do it.
Do not.
And I appreciate I appreciate their characterization of him for that. Specifically because they kind of picked up on what was left from the second season of him having some kind of like paternal feeling towards the people he's handling. I appreciate that, but they never gave Constantine and Villanelle specifically some kind of like, I don't know, like emotional climax together.
Yeah, I was thinking
they did have that
yeah.
one. They did have that one part where, she asks him for help, and he's like, "Oh, is that it?" And she's like, "Yeah." Then she leaves, and then she comes back in. They hug it out, and then she leaves again, never turning back.
More.
Yeah. There should have been more of that because, I know from the way they were handling the fourth season and like the previous seasons, apart from the first season, is that they wanted to give Villanelle some kind of emotional core to her that wasn't just happy-go-lucky assassin, you know? So they wanted to give her something that wasn't just that.
That's another like fun little thing. Happy-go-lucky assassin.
And
but, like, yeah, I agree with you with like the Constantine thing. It's like that would have been so good though, like to lean into that more because it's such an interesting relationship to build, especially handler assassin thing. You don't see a lot of it in assassin media. It's usually the handler turns out to be like an evil asshole the whole time. So it would have been interesting to like build that up.
That would have been amazing if they actually built that up from after the second season. But the third season they delved into Villanelle's family life instead. So I just like, I didn't like that. Because like, no one cares about Oksana. We're talking about Villanelle, okay? Put her back in there. No one, don't bring her out of the box.
The thing is that I find frustrating with like morally gray / fucked up characters is that so much media nowadays wants to be like, but why are they like this? And I'm like, I don't really
They
care.
want to turn her into a skrunkly. But she's not.
I'm like, can we just like let them be fucked up and a bit evil and a bit mean and a bit like just
She'll
can we let
never
them
be
do
your
that
little meow meow.
in peace. And if she is your little meow meow, come to terms with the fact that you cannot sympathize with her. It's not. No one's telling you you're defending.
That's the fun thing about her.
That's the fun thing about like assassin things, or like it's the same issue people have with like John Wick, where people think about it too hard and be like, oh, he's killing people. I'm like, he's an assassin. Yeah. It's his job.
That's his job.
If you don't want him to murder people, watch something else. Like I get the desire for it, but it's just been done so many times. I'm kind of sick of it. And also, there's some characters that are just better if they're left kind of mysterious in their backstory, because it makes them more compelling. Versus if you know so much about them, then it kind of makes it less interesting. Because then you have like all these filled in boxes, and you can't like.
I do think what I liked about them bringing in some parts of Oksana from, I think, the second season was them kind of like confirming that Villanelle has a type, and it's specifically the messy-haired, black-haired beauty who is definitely someone's wife. Villanelle has a type, messy, and it's home-wrecking.
Absolutely messy behavior, and I can't help but find it compelling. It's just very funny.
She likes to be a homewrecker. She's kind of a little shit like that. But the moment they delve deeper than that, I was just like, oh, come on, guys. I don't care if this is rural Russia where people are kind of homophobic. I don't care. Let her have it. She kills people.
Listen, you're already doing the inventive kill thing. Why not throw in a little home wrecking just for fun?
When it comes to fourth season, like the whole thing, the entire thing, there's this whole angle of like untethering Eve, right? Of like, you know, slowly she goes from impressed by the way Villanelle kills people to like sort of vengeful because of what happened to Bill. And then she slowly starts getting obsessed with like the idea of capturing her, specifically not even just to stop the crimes, but more like just to see if she can do it. Because you never really get that idea from Eve of like, I want to catch her because I want to stop her from doing it.
It's the can I catch this person who has so far been uncapturable? Like, am I going to be the one?
The flavor.
The flavor of it all.
If they played more into that of just her like tunnel visioning to Eve, to Villanelle, it would have been so good. Because if
the flavor
I didn't care for her. I didn't care for Villanelle killing her husband specifically because that should not have happened. Like the falling out she has with her husband in the first season, that in itself was so good that if he just never came back, I wouldn't have cared. If Villanelle was the cause of why Eve isolated herself, then like it just didn't carry through. I feel like it would have worked better if they just made it so every single connection Eve has to like any kind of normalcy in her life, the fault lies on her for not maintaining those relationships because she's so obsessed with capturing this woman. Ooh. Because something about this aspect of like slowly getting obsessed.
Isn't that also like what compels people about Hannibal, like the TV show?
I don't know. Because I would never claim to know anything
all right,
about
you don't. Right, yeah. But like one of the like key aspects of it is how deep as he goes deeper and deeper with his connection to like Hannibal, Will Graham slowly like starts fucking up his other relationships because he's so like enthralled by the concept of Hannibal, which I think would have been like, oh god, just to like see
Could
Sandra
you imagine?
Act the shit out of that would have been oh
amazing.
My goodness.
Would have been amazing. Could you imagine if they bury your gays fucking Hannibal?
They did, technically.
And is there any narrative build up to that, or they just
yes,
did that for some
yes, there is. There's like a whole narrative build up to it.
That's not technically bury your gays though. If bury your gays is what happened to Villanelle, well, they got to their happy ending and then she got shot by no one. So did 12.
Yes.
I appreciate the candor for trying to exposit on any fucking world building that they may or may not have.
Mm-hmm.
A mysterious organization that starts killing off random politicians, which is not unheard of. This is something that happens in real life. So I don't get the reason why there's the need to expound on that. As someone who lives in the Philippines, where cronyism is a thing.
Once you have the idea about what the 12 is, you're kind of like, oh, okay. It becomes less interesting when you dive into what the 12 is.
Yeah, because from the get-go, all of their targets are politicians.
There's a pattern.
Once again, as someone who lives in the Philippines, where cronyism is a thing, politicians dying because of other politicians is not surprising, nor is it interesting anymore.
It's horrifying that this is a thing that we are used to, but also it is a thing that we are used to, unfortunately.
Exactly. That's right. I never hear about American politicians getting killed. There is no drama in the U.S.
Like, the only politician thing I've heard of was the JFK thing. And that wasn't even a politician killing another politician.
It was just some random dude. They never found out afterwards.
That's the only one that, jumps immediately to mind.
And apart from that, usually the people who die that you know...
Especially horrifyingly during the election season.
It's always mayoral candidates. If it's not journalists...
Oh, God, yeah.
It's mayoral candidates. So, assassins being a thing... But to further political goals, that's not new. That's common. That's something you put in shit like Game of Thrones. So it's not even interesting anymore. Especially post Game of Thrones, where people almost always expect some kind of weird colluding within politics, which is very, very uncommon in the West. That's why people focus on it so much. We're used to it, so we're just like, okay. Okay, so this person wants this person, then okay. So
all the elections are coming up. Let's see who's building a team. Oh, shocker! It's these people. What a surprise!
I don't mean to be disrespectful to the people who have died. I am just so used to this. The Western fascination with politics is so amusing. The way they dramatize the shit out of it is so amusing to me. But I understand the need to be intimately aware of these things. It's always those politician moves where it's always personally motivated instead of just a thing to push for power, which it almost always is. So the 12 being a thing should not have been expounded on specifically because it's so common everywhere else. But because the Westerners are so obsessed with politics being so dramatized to the point of making something like The Crown, you know? They gotta dramatize the shit out of something or else they won't have any culture at all. So so it's just so disappointing when they made the 12 an external plot point of the entire series, specifically because it never really turns into something that connects Villanelle or Eve's personalities. Yeah, because that's your core of the show is their cat and mouse game, but the 12 is just the peripheral of their playground. You know, you don't really have to care about who's setting up Villanelle's escapes. You just have to care about whether or not they're setting it up or not.
Yeah.
I get that she's a tool for something, but other than that, if Eve catches her, then it's over. You have to find someone else. But then they go into this how how Eve is just some collab. She's kind of just she's not even middle management. She's just some pawn. You know, they can throw her away anytime. And that's what they choose to focus on is the fact that she's just a pawn, and
which
then
is kind of
they're
horrible.
but there's more to this.
Which is kind of horrible when you put it in the context of that, and the context of Eve being played by an Asian woman.
Yeah, it's just if they had just focused on Villeneuve, we wouldn't be having this problem.
No, yeah, exactly. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
If this had played out like Hannibal did, no one would be complaining right now.
Well, people still complain about Hannibal, but like, I did make that tweet that was like, I just want like a cat and mouse thing. I don't need to know all the politics of the world. That's not interesting to me. I want to focus on the relationship. Like, why are these two like this? I want to see into their little like fucked up relationship. Give me all the sorry baby moments. Which, okay, here's the thing. And what another thing that pisses me off is that the marketing for the show is centered around Villeneuve.
Yeah.
I remember the like sorry baby billboards. I remember calling the international, which is bad for my phone bill. The line where you call and you get like a voicemail from Villanelle for Eve, like the different messages. I remember that promotion. And like it's centered around their relationship, and then you watch the show and you're like, what
the fuck is this?
Where is
What the fuck is this?
I was promised steak. Why are you giving me shrimp?
Where are the lesbians?
Where are the lesbians? I didn't want a political thriller. I wanted lesbians.
I think this is like stemming from, I guess, part of the reason why I didn't like how the Heroes of Olympus series ended.
That's
and, like,
fair.
How most of YA dystopian fantasies during a little bit of like years before the whole Killing Eve series came out was that like I don't like plots where things happen to people. You know? It's not even that the fact that, you know, in plots things happen to people. That's not the thing. I like it when in plots the plot starts because the people did it.
Yeah.
And the consequences is the plot. I like it when the characters are driving it.
You
and
like it.
The fact
you like
that they...
it when the character says "bagum" and immediately gets a bunch of historical figures.
I like it when when the lesbians take the wheel. Okay.
Yeah, let the lesbians take the wheel.
But yeah, it just kind of pisses me off that they made the 12 be this like sort of omniscient, mysterious organization that like is just like omnipotent at this point, because like, you know, they drill it into the audience like multiple times. Like, if you do this, they'll come after you. Yeah. You know? It's always they'll come after you. They're the fucking Men in Black or whatever. It pisses me off that their external plot has no bearing on what the fuck people actually want. Yeah. And it's just, when things happen to Villanelle and to Eve, it's not because they did it to each other.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I mean, that's why the season finales are always so compelling, because it's always in the season finales where they do shit to each other.
Exactly.
That's what hooks so many people. Like, when she shoots Villanelle in Rome, when Villanelle shoots her in Rome, when she stabs Villanelle, where they like dance with each other in the last episode of season 3.
Yes.
And then their whole like honeymoon-esque bullshit that happens in the last episode of season 4 before Villanelle gets shot. That's when people get really, really invested, is when they do shit to each other, and then the consequence is they end up falling deeper into each other. That's when it's at its most interesting.
That's what I see gifs of. That's what I see people talking about, because it's interesting. It's fascinating. It's the whole human connection thing of like this fucked up person meeting this fucked up person, and there's something there that you just can't help but watch. You can't look away from, because you know there's gonna be consequences.
This car crash happening in slow motion is just so good. And then they end the fucking season with no one shooting at Villanelle. It's so stupid. It's so amazingly stupid that you actually end up just laughing when she gets shot in slow motion, and like Sandra Oh is acting her heart out. She's just like kind of like she's desolate. She's so fucking angry and also so fucking sad that Villanelle is dying in her arms, and they jump off the ship. She gets pushed off the ship by Villanelle, who is trying to protect her.
Which is intriguing. It's horrible, but it's so like fucked up when you think about like the context of why they're off the ship. But then you get mad because there was no reason.
Most of the 12 at that point were dead.
Yeah,
apart
exactly.
Maybe from Carolyn. Carolyn was the only one who was still alive. As far as I know, at least. I know, like, most of the 12 have been dead at that point. Including Helene, who was, like, the driving antagonist of the last season. The other guy who was technically 12, but has been in hiding for the longest fucking time. He was not involved with most of the things. And then, Villanelle fucking shot him. So, he's dead too. So most of the 12 are dead at this point, except for Carolyn. So who ordered the shots? Because Carolyn actually cared for Villanelle at that point. So why is she dead?
Why?
Did she think that Villanelle was going to come after her after, like, their bonding thing that was going on? Or was it, like, a personal thing? Because the guy who's been in hiding this entire time was shot by Villanelle. Did she think Villanelle was going to go after him, even though Eve, in under no circumstances, she never fucking lied about saying, we don't care about you. We just want the 12 dead.
Yeah. It's not personal, it's business.
Sense. What business? She's not even in the 12
Yeah,
anymore.
That's true. Exactly.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. And as you know me, Gab, I hate it when things don't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. It infuriates me how stupid that ending was, because none of it led up to that point. Even though Laura Neal has been so insistent about it, that they were leading up to that. They were not besties. They were leading up to Thelma and Louise. That was the vibe they wanted.
That was the vibe.
But instead, they got the, what was the Avicii music video where they tried to do a Thelma and Louise, and then the lesbians died anyway. Good lord. The fact that I know it's the Avicii song with the lesbians in it.
Concerning.
Telling. And you knew. The moment I mentioned it, you were like, oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Addicted to You.
There you go, yeah.
Well, will we get copyright strike if I fucking...
I don't know.
I know the song. Wow. They had lesbians in this one. And then they killed the lesbians in this music video.
God.
Bruh. That's it. That's the ending of... I think that's where they got the ideas.
The inspiration
for
from
the
Avicii.
Villain. Yeah, they got the inspiration from Avicii.
I see.
They
just
thought... They should have been playing Hayley Kiyoko in there.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine the exes? Like, the exes vibe between Eve and Villanelle? It would have been so good.
Oh, my God.
If you gave Villeneuve the Charles Xavier and fucking...
Yes, absolutely. That's what you need. That's what you need to do. You need to give them the chess moment in Paris where they're playing and they go. Fucking Magneto goes, that's your move. And you just pan out from them playing chess. You need...
Good lord.
Sorry, I Cherik... The flavor...
It unlocked something in you.
The flavor of that...
I think Cherik is just, like, everyone's, like, like, that's their proto-gay, like, thing, you know?
Yes.
Like, everyone who watched a single X-Men movie, they would, like, they just know. You know? It's like the baseline.
Even my dad, who does not know much, he knows, he's like, Professor X and Magneto.
They fucking...
And also, there's the whole thing with, like, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen just also leaning into that, which is really sweet because they're really good friends. But yeah, play into the chess game of it all. The fucking... Oh my god. Now I'm thinking about... X-Men
It all
First
comes
Class.
back to ooh, they fucking. I know.
If you gave it the you're not alone anymore, the Days of Future Past thing, where give them the energy of divorced parents who still find the other parent hot.
It's not even that they're in love with each other. It's just that they knew each other for so fucking long.
Oh, the
that
inherent,
they still do know each other.
the inherent horror and delight of knowing someone who knows you deeply, and then you have to separate from them, and still knowing that this person knows you so intricately. That there's always like a connection with that. It's the whole thing when you like have like a friend break up, and you're horrified because this person has like some of your deepest, darkest secrets, and there will always be this connection, but you just don't like them anymore.
Because this thing, this is not me trying to fix season 4, but if they had played this angle, it would have been so good. Because they do have that whole like opening to season 4. But anyway, if they had played into that in season 4 of like them realizing finally that, you know, like maybe being together wasn't really nice. Maybe they were kind of just like drowning in this idea that they want the other because no one understood them, or something like that. Like them finally realizing that, oh man, yeah, I need some help, or something like that. Eve, I can definitively like understand that as a person, because she's just like, oh man, I've been too deep into this rabbit hole. I need to like crawl back out somehow. If they had played into the idea that, you know, they would want to like adjust without the other, which they've been doing for seasons now. They want to adjust out of each other's whole, like, the strong magnetism to each other. If they wanted out of that, if they had just continued to, like, leave it at that, of just, like, they see each other in the street and passing and just, like, move on. And then get to that final season finale, that thing they always do, where they bring Villanelle and Eve together again, where they finally give in to each other's magnetism, and kept playing the exes thing, where they were just like, I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in you, clenched fist. Good lord. If they kept playing the exes role and just got to that part where they couldn't even fucking deny the magnetism, that would have been so
delicious. It would have been delicious. Just the idea of both of them being frustrated that they're getting drawn back together, despite the fact they're actively working against. Delicious. Interesting concept. Yeah. I need more of that in my life. Imagine if we had gotten that with Sandra
For all intents and purposes, that's where they started the entire show.
Exactly.
Is if they had gone, like, drawn back full circle, but, like, with all the everything that happened between them, that they couldn't even deny that it happened anymore. It would have been so perfect. It would have been when they finally slept together. It would have been so good. They should have hired.
You know what? We can just make our own thing where we just do this and we. We do it through audio drama, so it's even more like sickening.
What are we doing afterwards?
Speaking of fucked up little guys, is there anything more fucked up than some demons? Specifically, some demons in the 90s. So next episode, we're obviously talking about the best podcast, my favorite podcast, Brimstone Valley Mall. I'm so excited.
Of course.
Just the trio of homosexual things that just fall. Like Dylan did, and then killing Eve, and then Brimstone Valley
What goes
Mall.
after gay wrath? Now I'm thinking, because we're consistently being gay K. We're doing gay sins,
gay
question mark?
Gay sins.
Yeah, we're gay adjacent sins, Gay envy.
Gay envy. Gay envy of not being in a Hot Topic in the 90s.
No, it's the gay envy of, no, that's my best friend.
That's my
how
best friend.
How dare you be someone else's best friend?
That's
something
also...
about Miss Rock is just so.
Oh my god, you and Miss Rock. I think it makes so much...
I don't know why I got attached to that little bit.
It makes so... I was about to say, it makes so much sense that you got attached to Miss Rock of all the characters.
There's just something about them, alright? Don't at me.
It's kismet. It's like how you got attached to Miss Rock, and I immediately said, Bells and Trent Mine now.
The unhinged little guys. You like unhinged little guys. They're kind of weird.
It's really funny because there's like two like aspects to my personality, and it's just like the nicest, like these very kind himbo, like there's no brain cells, and on the other end of the spectrum there's just like these unhinged, sarcastic little motherfuckers.
It's your Lilo and Stitch.
That's true. That's true.
It all goes back to your Lilo and Stitch. What you just heard was a talk from the Secret Treehouse. Those were your hosts, SJ and Gab, and this was a production by The Playground. If you like that, please consider supporting us through the links found in the show notes. If you support us for as low as $6 on Ko-fi, you can get the whole uncut version of this episode. And if you want your name at the end of the episode, like at this moment here, you can support us for $10. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope we can get to hang out again.